Happy Sunday into happy Monday, everyone. I've got a whole lot of things to talk about in this Psychic Notes update, so let's go ahead and get to it. First, the big news is that we all met for the Manifesting for Spiritual Misfits on Friday, had a nice cozy group, did a whole lot of work. I probably did overkill. A little bit of drinking from the fire hose. Maybe I could have modulated that a little bit better, but everybody who was there, they got a really deep drink on manifesting, and we had a really good time that evening. That recording is now up, live, and available, and one of the things that you're going to get in the recording is that I debunked ChatGPT's lineup of manifesting. So part of what I did with Manifesting for Spiritual Misfits is that I wanted the collective take. So I went into ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, hey, tell me what the steps are for manifesting. And it kicked out like 10, 11 steps. And then I proceeded to debunk from my experience what ChatGPT said. And I kind of had a lot of fun poking holes in it. You will get that in the recording along with a couple of personal tells. I've been holding out on you guys with some stuff, and I think I'm going to begin to share it, but there's some personal tells in there about manifestation. And I've also shared my own manifestation handbook in there as well. So a really rich recording. And I got to tell you, that recording, because I gave myself permission to really talk candidly about the Kamala stuff, somehow it gave me permission to really talk candidly about the manifestation stuff. And the next thing I know, it has opened up like 5 or 6 doors on topics that I've kind of cloaked. Like I said before, I've been holding out on you guys, and I am going to begin to share some of that inside baseball that I have kind of kept a secret since last fall. It's time to start sharing some of that. Go check out the Manifesting for Spiritual Misfits. It's about a 75-minute recording, really rich. You're going to get some great things out of it, especially if you feel like the manifesting rules as they are set up right now don't really work or pertain to you. Go take a look at it and check it out. So next, quick energy update. Yes, we have been going through the slow churn, deep burn of that Pluto, Mars, Lilith squares and opposition. Man, whew, it's a lot, folks. It's a lot. So if you feel like things are kind of deeply plowing through you and churning and there's alchemical stuff, like that is it. We should get through most of it by the front end of this week, and then we do the Venus-Neptune conjunct as Venus moves across into Aries again. So a little bit of ka-chunk, but not nearly the intense energies that we've been going through for the past month. So heads up for that. And I will be doing an energy forecast, the pan back and look and do the big energy forecast later on this week. Next, I wanted to visit that energy break topic. Remember in one of my last Psychic Notes, I talked with you guys and I said, oh my God, we're beginning to break it. We're beginning to break it. And I saw that really deep energy dip where like the dark force push, there's a break in the action, and my pendulum picked up on that at the end of April, beginning of May. That's this week, folks. That's this week. And I'm going to begin to share you some of the cracks in the wall that I am beginning to see. But I just want to give a heads up, like energetically, the pendulum is still saying that we get an energy break this week. And I've already kind of shown that with my energy forecasting, but it also translates into the larger picture that we're going to begin to see a few more cracks in the wall, and I'm going to be sharing some of those here in a moment. We're going to begin to see more cracks in the wall. Should see those especially this week. Now, I've continued to pendulum check a little bit more definitively through the next 8 weeks or so, and this is the report that I can give to you. The energy break happens this week, and then that leaves, but it's going to leave gradually. So it's not going to be like that. It's like a break that's happening, and gradually dark source energy will come back, and that will peak. That will peak at the end of May, beginning of June. So we're going to go and that's as it stands right now. We can change that whole thing. But as it stands right now, that dark force energy is slowly going to kind of come back. And a lot of psychics, and I had picked up on it, May feels like we give back ground. And my pendulum confirmed that. It kind of goes, like, light going away, dark coming back on, dark coming back on. And that peaks end of May, beginning of June, and then it begins to wane again. And by the end of June, we have our big breakthrough that then consistently stays and stays and stays. And I had picked up on that, and other psychics are picking up, like end of June, beginning of July, sometime in midsummer, we make a big shift and their toehold begins to go away. And by the end of the summer, like this whole other revolution is going on. So this is me coming to you, kind of giving you a little bit more specifics so that you know how to pace yourself, and you know how to self-talk, and you know how to say to yourself, hey, this is not going to last forever. We get the break. We're going to head back into the thick of the storm by the end of May, early June, and then it begins to break again for good. So just keep that on the horizon. Just kind of keep that in the back of your head. And I will continue to pendulum check and report back to you kind of on this week by week basis until we really begin to see some headway through this thing. Keep the hope, keep the faith. We are moving in the right direction. And just to confirm that, I compiled a whole bunch of bullet points on what I'm calling the cracks in the wall. So let me put my reading glasses on and let's take a look at that list and kind of get pumped up a little bit. All right, here we go. And right about here, this is kind of quirky. Spirit team wants me to just drop a little bit of a hint. This is actually business stuff. I have been receiving guidance for at least a month now to get an affiliate going, a spiritual digital affiliate going with my products. And I'm just going to put that out there as a hint. And then I'm going to begin to soft roll that out through this week and into the next week. And so if you're interested, feel free to email me, dana@somaticmoney.com, and I will put you in the queue of what I've got going on. More information to follow soon on that. All right, so cracks in the wall here. Here's the first one. Evidently, ICE has had to roll back or rescind their student deportations because of legal issues. There are a whole bunch of students that were going to be deported, and they filed lawsuits, and ICE reinstated legal status to 100 students. That is a win. Also this past week, the Wall Street Journal, which is a conservative publication, has started calling for the impeachment of the president. That's one. Can't tell if this is a win or not yet. I think this is a win that will continue to deteriorate or erode support for the president, and that is that China has sent back 200,000 shipping containers, and this is in answer to the tariffs. Yes, that is going to cause economic mayhem and confusion in our supply chain, but I also want to point out with this, quite some time ago, like this was in the wintertime, this was one of those psychic hits that came through that was just powerful and solid, and Spirit Team wouldn't let me tell you guys, and now I can tell you guys. Spirit Team told me right about the point that the president took office, they said, Walmart will not make it. And I'm like, what? And they repeated, they said, Walmart will not make it. Walmart will collapse. And so when I saw this whole 200,000 shipping containers being dumped on our West Coast, my first thought was like, that might be the beginning of the end of Walmart. Walmart depends upon imports, those Chinese imports, to put them on their shelves. Well, guess what Walmart is not going to have? Very interesting, the pressure point that is being created there. So, I mean, not so much of a win on it like it breaks down our economy, but it's also a win that it's breaking down certain things that needed to be broken down anyway. So this will be very interesting to see how this plays out. Next one is, this is in Wyoming, the red state of Wyoming. A judge there blocked an anti-abortion law in Wyoming, allowing the only abortion clinic in that state to reopen. Wow, that is just like, oh my God, that is amazing. That is incredible. Here, this is very interesting. This is just a side note. This is kind of like brew on the back burner. There's not a whole lot of information, but I picked up on it. Evidently, the moves that the administration has recently made to align with El Salvador and give money El Salvador for deportation things, evidently the United States is not part of the ICC, but El Salvador is, and because of what the administration did, evidently legally that opens the doorway for there to be ICC type movements against the administration. That all happened this last week. Now, it was no major headlines. Evidently, Jack Smith is potentially involved, the ICC in The Hague. And the commentary that I was listening to, they said this kind of thing, they would want to keep it on the down low. They would not want to emphasize or publish what they were doing. They would want to keep that in private. Now, what's interesting is the day before I saw this TikTok and this report, I was on one of those walks with Peanut, and I'm walking along, and all of a sudden I can hear paper shuffling with election interference, ICC kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, my ears were just like, oh my God, there's motion, there's movement, there's motion, there's movement. And then it went away. But then I saw this report, and I'm like, oh, there it is. There's something going on. They're doing something. So that was really interesting. All right. This next one I've got for you, crack in the wall. Everybody knows about this one. Tesla's profits are tanking, and Tesla is going to continue not to do well, and it is causing Musk to have to move back out of Doge. That's really interesting. The president also came out this week and said, ending the Ukraine war is harder than I expected it to be, and Russia is not listening to me. Oh my God, another crack in the wall. That was a promise he made. He made a promise that he would end that war within 24 hours of being in office. That has not happened. Crack in the wall. And here's another one. A federal judge blocked an executive order about voter registration. So what the administration is trying to do to erode voter registration rights. A federal judge blocked that injunction, so it cannot move any further. And on the docket, I believe there is a next round of protests getting rolled out for this coming weekend. Check the dates, check your city, check all of that. But the hands-off protest movement is not slowing down any. From what I can tell somatically in my body, it's just getting revved up good. It's getting revved up good. And when we see MAGA Republicans, conservative Republicans at town halls very upset, that is an indicator. I also saw a TikTok of a woman in her very conservative red town. She's a blue dot in a red state. In her conservative red town, there was a MAGA hands-off protest happening in her town. Folks, there are cracks in the wall. It is happening. Keep the faith, keep the hope, keep going. We're gonna be riding the wave a little bit here. Okay, so that is what I've got for you today. Thank you for being here. Remember to keep putting one foot in front of the other to meet those miracles along the way, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.